Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the top 10 countries that, in 2025, decided to metaphorically tell the US to jog on. After decades of being the world's indispensable nation, America found itself in a global group chat where everyone suddenly put it on mute. Stay tuned to find out which nations decided their relationship status with the US had officially become "it's complicated." First up, China. In 2025, China decided their "it's complicated" relationship with the US had tipped over into "we're seeing other people." The reasons were a mix of simmering resentments and bold new ambitions. Official communiques cited mutual respect and differing paths to development. Think of it as a conscious uncoupling, but instead of Gwyneth Paltrow, you have Xi Jinping. The shift was the final click of a meticulously assembled geopolitical IKEA flat pack. At number 2, Russia. In 2025, US-Russia relations hit a new low. Geopolitical firecrackers singed America's eyebrows. Bold moves, suspicious tourists, cyber attacks. The Kremlin asserted sovereign interests, more spinning dramatically while a choir sings. Next, Germany. In 2025, even the Germans had reached their limit. Years of trade disputes and disagreements over energy policy eroded transatlantic trust. The political climate in Germany saw a coalition government deciding that strategic autonomy was a practical necessity. Picture a very polite, very formal letter to Washington, outlining why certain American economic pressures were suboptimal for German interests. It was the diplomatic equivalent of a meticulously organized breakup, complete with spreadsheets and a PowerPoint presentation. France, our fourth country to say au revoir to American primacy. France's departure was likely accompanied by a Gallic shrug and a statement so philosophically dense it would take a team of linguists a week to unpack. Imagine President Macron, or his successor, pivoting towards European sovereignty. This wasn't just about policy disagreements, it was about style. France saw itself leading Europe towards its own destiny. Moving across the globe, we find India, our fifth nation to recalibrate its relationship with the US. The impact on US relations from India's 2025 pivot was significant. The reasons for India's shift were multifaceted: a renewed emphasis on non-alignment, growing confidence in its own strength, and frustration with being seen as a pawn. Washington envisioned a democratic bulwark in Asia, but got a polite thanks, but no thanks. India chose to forge a path aligned with its own diverse, fiercely independent interests. Heading down to South America, we find Brazil, waltzing its way onto our list at number 6. In 2025, Brazil changed dance partners, forming alliances to reduce reliance on Washington. It was about reasserting regional leadership. Decisions made in Brasilia or Buenos Aires, not Washington, D.C. The US watched with concern as Brazil led its own conga line. Turkey, our seventh country, decided to carve its own path, leaving the US to wonder what happened to their invitation. The military implications of Turkey's move were a massive headache for NATO. Turkey's drift signaled a potential unraveling of long-established security architectures. This was likely the culmination of years of disagreements over policy in Syria and arms purchases from non-traditional suppliers. The implications for US power projection were profound. Saudi Arabia, our eighth nation, to inform the US their services were no longer exclusively required. By 2025, the sands were shifting, both literally and metaphorically. The Saudi public grew weary of being seen as an American client state. Pursuing Vision 2030, the leadership sought diversification in economic and geopolitical terms. This was a calculated recalibration, signaling the kingdom was open to new partnerships. Our penultimate entry, at number 9, takes us to South Africa. In 2025, South Africa distanced itself from the US, recalling past US foreign policy during their liberation struggles. This wasn't hostility, but a stand for a balanced, just international system. We remember our friends and choose future partners on new criteria. Finally, Mexico. In 2025, Mexico decided the US wasn't their compadre anymore. The impact on global politics was profound. This wasn't just about trade or immigration, it was a fundamental shift. Mexico looked south and east for new partnerships. The message was clear: the US could no longer assume its neighbors would fall in line. Well, there you have it. 10 countries, 10 very awkward, it's not me, it's you conversations for the US in 2025. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments which country on this list surprised you the most. Honestly, after a list like that, one has to wonder who is still on America's speed dial.